to know more such amazing stories from Indian history, click the bell icon and subscribe to Live History India.
Drive to the center of the city of Burdwan, 100 kilometers from Kolkata, and you will come across this curious gate, named after Lord Curzon, who was the Viceroy of India from 1899 to 1905. Close by, at this once grand palace that is today the University of Burdwan, you will find a makeshift museum with a life-size sculpture of Curzon. You will also find around the museum remains of these beautiful marble columns and fountainheads. So what is a gate dedicated to Curzon, who would go down in history as the man behind the partition of Bengal in 1905, doing in Burdwan? Well, this palace was a seat for the Rajas of Burdwan, who were perhaps the richest zamindars in the 19th century. In 1903, Bijay Mehtab, who had just inherited the zamindari at Burdwan, invited Lord Curzon for his coronation. This gate was built to commemorate that visit. Few people who visit Burdwan or perhaps even study in this university would know that at its height, the estate of Burdwan was 3 times larger than the kingdom of Cochin. This kingdom of Burdwan was acquired by a combination of smarts and strategy. The Rajas of Burdwan had a humble start. They traced their lineage to a Punjabi businessman, Sangram Rai Kapoor, who came from Lahore and settled near Burdwan in the 1650s. He became a successful moneylender, and by the time of his grandson, the family was resourceful enough to get recognition from the Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb himself. The family was given a large estate to collect taxes. It's a testimony to the canniness of the Rajas of Burdwan that they found favour with the Mughals, the Nawabs of Bengal, and the British, becoming indispensable to all over the next 300 years. The Rajas were also business savvy. When the British introduced the permanent settlement, forcing landowners or zamindars to pay a fixed amount as revenue and auctioning off their land to the highest bidder if they didn't, the Burdwan Rajas bought up a lot of the stressed out estates, often at dirt cheap prices. As they acquired, their wealth grew, as did their titles. The most famous of the Burdwan Rajas in recent memory was Bijay Mehtab, who ruled the Burdwan estate from 1887 till his death in 1941. He was well up with the British, and he was even conferred the title of Rajadhiraj during the 1903 Delhi Darbar. Bijay Chand is also said to have saved the life of the Lieutenant Governor of Bengal, Sir Andrew Fraser, when an attempt was made to assassinate him by the Indian nationalists on the 7th of November 1908. In return for his loyalty, the British gave him even greater titles, including the right to use the title Maharaja Dhiraj, a favour bestowed only on the closest. The last of the Burdwan Rajas was Raja Uday Chand, who handed over his estate and the Burdwan palace to the government. This university stands where the sprawling palace once held court. Uday Chand went on to play an active role in public life in independent India. Today, little remains of the time when Burdwan was at the centre of one of the largest estates in India, except this palace, old cannons all lined up in a row, and the Curzon Gate in the midst of a bustling town square, strategically situated at the crossroads of the Bijay Chand Road and the Grand Trunk Road. This is ironic because it was the Grand Trunk Road that first brought the patriarch of the Burdwan Rajas, Sangram Rai Kapoor, from Lahore nearly 400 years ago.